What are the top 10 hardest things to obtain in Blox Fruits? There are super hard items to get like fighting styles, insanely hard to get titles, extremely rare accessories, and races. So let me know in the comments how many things you have from this list, because I will pin whoever comment that have more things than me. Let's start the video with the top 10 thing on this list, which is the Dark Dagger. So why is the Dark Dagger so hard to get? This is one of the rarest swords in Blox Fruits. To get this sword, you have to be in the 3rd sea and defeat the Rip Indra boss, but you have a 2.5% to 5% chance to get this sword from Rip Indra. But it's not that easy. To summon the Rip Indra boss, you will need the 3 legendary hockey colors to activate the 3 buttons to summon the boss. Not only that, you will also need to find the God's Chalice, which you get from either the Elite Hunter and PCS with a low chance, or in a random chest if the server has been running for 4 hours. After finding the God's Chalice and activating the 3 buttons, now after all that grinding and pain, you will now have to defeat the Rip Indra boss and hope you get this Dark Dagger sword. The Dark Dagger is a decent PvP sword if you know how to use it. Let me know if you have the Dark Dagger in the comments. Now on to the next item. At number 9, we have the Soul Guitar. This is the hardest gun to get in the game, because you need to be at least level to 1300 and complete the Soul Guitar puzzle, which is actually quite a tedious puzzle. After doing the puzzle, you will still need to grind for some materials to actually buy the gun. 5,000 fragments, 250 ectoplasm dropped from NPCs in the Cursed Ship from the 2nd sea, 500 bones dropped from NPCs in the Haunted Castle, and lastly a dark fragment dropped from the Dark Beard boss with a 100% chance of getting it, but it's not as easy as it sounds. To summon this boss, you will have to find a Fist of Darkness dropped from sea beasts with a very low chance. You also have a chance to find it in a random chest if the server has been running for 4 hours, just like the God's Chalice. The dark fragment is probably the most annoying part of obtaining the Soul Guitar, but it's worth it in the end. At number 8, we have the Leviathan Shield. This is a really good mythical accessory in the 3rd sea. To get the Leviathan Shield, you will need 20 Fool's Gold, which you can get from the haunted ships when you are grinding for sea events, 10 Electric Wings, which is dropped from piranhas when doing sea events, 30 Leviathan Scales from the hardest boss in the game, the Leviathan, and lastly a Mirror Fractal dropped from the Doking boss. Yeah, this accessory is probably the hardest accessory to get in the game. Not only you have to find and defeat the hardest boss in the game, you will also have to spend time grinding for the other materials, which can take quite some time. The Leviathan Shield accessory gives you plus 15% defense against melee, sword, and gun attacks, plus 30% defense against sea events, 90% protection against water damage, and a whole plus 1000 health. So yeah, this accessory is quite handy if you're doing sea events and don't have the shark race. Now on to the next item. At number 7, we have the Godhuman fighting style. To get this fighting style, you just have to grind for 100 mastery on every single fighting style in the game, except Sanguine Art. Grinding for 100 mastery on all fighting styles is one of the hardest and time-consuming tasks you can ever do in Blox Fruits. It takes even more time if you don't have the 2x Mastery Game Pass, and you will also need 5 million money, 5,000 fragments, 10 dragon scales, which you can get from the Dragon Crew Archer or Warrior from the 3rd sea, 20 fish tails, which you can get from the Fishman and PCS in the 3rd sea, 10 mystic droplets, which you can get from the Sea Soldier or Water Fighter from the 2nd sea, and 20 magma ore, which you can get from the Magma and PCS from the 2nd sea. So good luck on that. At number 6, we have the Sanguine Art. This is another very hard fighting style to get because of these materials right here. 20 vampire fangs from vampires in the 2nd sea, 20 demonic wisps from the demonic souls in the 3rd sea, 2 dark fragments from Dark Beard, and a Leviathan heart from the Leviathan boss. It's quite tedious to get the Leviathan heart, as you have to find and defeat the hardest boss in Blox Fruits. And grinding for 2 dark fragments is quite tedious as well. After grinding all of these materials, you will still need 5 million money and 5,000 fragments. It's a very strong fighting style. It has a very good combo potential, and you can heal some of your HP with the first move. So yeah, this fighting style is really strong. But good luck on grinding for it. At number 5, we have the Race V4. This thing is just a pain to get, and it takes a very long time. I won't even have time explaining the whole puzzle in this video, so you can find a tutorial on YouTube or head to the Blox Fruits wiki. The Race V gives you very strong powers that you must have if you're doing PvP. It gives you different abilities depending on what race you have. When transforming, you receive max stats, increased damage, speed and health regen by 10%. You really must have this thing if you want to do PvP. It's basically just a huge disadvantage if you don't have it. So yeah, Race V4 is very hard to get and time-consuming, but it's really worth it. If you are enjoying the video so far, make sure to like, subscribe, and join my Discord server in the description. Now on to the next item. At number 4, we have the mythical True Triple Katana sword. The True Triple Katana is definitely one of the hardest swords to get in the game. To get this sword, you will need to obtain 3 other swords from the legendary sword dealer, Shisui, Wando, and Sati. These swords takes a very long time to get. You can check out the wiki for explanation. Each one of these swords costs 2 million money, but that's probably the easiest part. You will also need 300 mastery on all 3 swords to obtain the True Triple Katana. After grinding for all of that, you can finally buy the True Triple Katana for 2 million money. Yeah, this sword takes a lot of grinding. The True Triple Katana used to be the strongest sword back then, but nowadays I barely see anyone use it, but still a very solid sword. Let me know if you have this sword or ever use it. At the top 3, we have the Cyborg race. This is the hardest race to obtain in Blox Fruits because you have to find a Fist of Darkness and insert it in the button used to start the order raid. Then you have to defeat the order boss until you get the core brain, which is a very rare item. After that, you can buy and obtain the Cyborg race for 2,500 fragments. Not only you have to find the Fist of Darkness, which is very rare, but you will also need 1,000 fragments for each order raid you do. The Cyborg V3 Energy Core ability gives you 30% defense and gives you a lighting effect around you that damages nearby players. You could spend all your fragments and still not get the core brain, so good luck. At number 2, we have the Kitsune Fruit. Now I'm not talking about using the fruit itself or having the permanent fruit. I'm talking about the actual physical fruit, making this literally one of the rarest, if not the rarest thing to obtain in the game, because there are only 3 ways to obtain it. The first way is to find it on the ground, which is extremely rare. The second way is getting it from the fruit gacha, which is also super rare. And the third way is getting it from the Kitsune Shrine, with a 1% chance. Yeah, this fruit is so hard to get, so let me know if you ever got a physical Kitsune Fruit. So lastly, the moment everyone has been waiting for. The top 1 hardest thing to get on this list is titles. So how are titles so hard to get? Everyone has titles, right? Well, I'm talking about the very rare titles that only a couple of people have in the whole game, like the Pirate King, which you need to have 30 million bounty and be in a crew that is in the top 10 for 72 hours. Or the Equal to the Heavens, which requires you to defeat a Blox Fruit staff member. Or the YouTuber title, be a Blox Fruits YouTuber in a good standing. It also requires having 10,000 subscribers and consistent views on videos, so everyone subscribe right now, so I can get the YouTuber title. Also, let me know how many items you have from this list, because I will pin whichever comment have more items than me. I have 8 items from this list. Also join my Discord server in the description. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.